Hello everybody, this is Kiran and today we are going to talk about one of the software development lifecycle models, which is Agile. Agile model is the most popular ones in all the companies where we are seeing any software development happening, and the Agile word in itself means flexible. So this model is very, as the name suggests, it's very flexible, and at the same time it supports fast product delivery. The development is very fast in Agile. So we'll learn about how this model is followed, the word Agile in itself means flexible. This model is flexible, it's very fast, it's customer oriented model, and overall we can say Agile is the need of the hour. So many companies, many projects, everybody is inclined towards Agile now. So we'll see how important this model is, and very popular. We'll see why it is so popular. So let's try to understand how this model is different from all other models which we have been seeing so far. So you can see on my screen the model starts with a kickoff, and then there are different cycles happening. We call them sprints here. So there are different terms which we should understand when we learn Agile or work in Agile. So ideally we'll start with sprint first. So you can see different cycles. So first sprint happens, then there is second sprint, and it goes till nth sprint, and then the product is complete. So what happens here, as we have seen initially in waterfall and B, the requirements used to be submitted, the entire requirements used to come at one go, and it used to be developed. The entire requirement was worked upon. But here in Agile, it's chunks of requirements again. Initially, there will be a set of requirement which the team will be working upon. There will be a client demo. There will be feedbacks which will be taken, and then based on that, again, the next set of requirements will be catered, and they will be worked upon, finished, demoed, and it will go up to nth sprint. So this is very much customer oriented. As you can see, the customer is coming into the picture after every sprint. There is a scope of feedbacks from the customer. The customer is satisfied by the work which is being developed, demoed, and then he can come up with his own ideas and innovations, and then the next sprint happens, and so on. So this is very useful and popular model. We'll see it by an example. Let's say we are working on an e-commerce platform, and the project kicks off, and initially we plan to develop the registration and the login pages of our e-commerce platform. So let's say we have following pages which needs to be developed: registration, login, home page, cart page, payment pages, order summary pages. So these are the following pages which needs to be developed. So registration and login are a part of the sprint 1. So in sprint 1 there will be sprint planning. So there are different meetings which needs to be followed as a part of the Agile workflow model. So we'll talk about them as well. So there is first meeting which happens is sprint planning meeting. So you can see sprint planning meeting happens initially. There the requirements are discussed, they are designed, and there is development of the requirements, and then there is testing, and then there is a demo to the product owner or the stakeholder, and once the demo is passed, it's deployed. And then next chunk of requirements, or we should call it backlogs here in Agile, they starts to again go through the sprint cycle. So what happens, as I was talking about the meetings, the first meeting, as I said, is sprint planning. The second meeting is daily stand-up Scrum meetings. These meetings happen every day in the morning, 15 minutes. They are called Scrum meetings because these meetings are meant to be short. Here only 3 agendas are discussed. Number 1, what did they do yesterday? what are they going to work on today, and if any bottlenecks, anybody is stuck somewhere, or any problems anybody is facing. So these are the 3 pointers which all the teammates will talk one by one, and this will be managed by a person who is a Scrum Master. We'll talk about all the Scrum sprint terms in our next video. Here we'll focus on the SDLC model majorly, about how Agile works. So I was explaining you that first sprint was where registration and login modules were developed. They got demoed and they were deployed, and then next we took up probably the home page and the cart page in sprint 2, and they were developed again. So this is past, and then we move forward with this sprint, and then home page and cart page is developed here. After that, payment and order details pages are taken as the sprint 3. Let's say this is sprint 3. So after that, the product is ready. So here in Agile model, you can see the requirements come as a chunk of activities or backlogs which we perform in sprints. All the SDLC steps are followed here also, from requirement gathering to design to development to coding to maintenance. So you can see here, first kickoff, sprint 1, sprint 2, go till sprint end, and finally the product is deployed. So if we talk about the meetings, 3 meetings which I was talking about: sprint planning, stand-up Scrum meeting, and then there is something called retrospection, which happens after every sprint. Retrospection, this appears to be coming from 2 words. Retro means old, inspection. So you're inspecting the older sprint to make sure that the next sprint is better than that. We need to find out what went good with the sprint and what went bad with the sprint, so that we can learn and perform this next sprint better than the previous one. So that's what retrospection meetings do. So these are the 3 meetings which are part of Agile. Agile is a very, very disciplined model, because usually the Agile one sprint lasts for 15 days. There is no hard and fast rule of having 15 days sprint cycle. It can be 1 week, it can be a month, but the ideal scenario is to have 15 days sprints. So this one sprint, this is completed in 15 days. So it has to be a disciplined model, because all the teammates needs to perform their activities and finish off the backlogs which has been taken. So if in one sprint we have taken 20 backlogs, we are very much responsible for delivering those 20 backlogs as a part of ending the sprint. And then the same is repeated after every sprint. So very disciplined model, very fast model, very innovative model, but there is certainly disadvantages. So major disadvantage which you might have noticed so far is this model is not very much document oriented. So that means we don't get enough time to create documents here in this model, because you can see it's so fast paced. It's not that the documents are not created at all. Of course, documentation happen, but very crisp and to the point, and in a very less time. So it's not a document oriented model, but then yes, documentation happen in as short as possible way. So you can see this model. We'll switch back and see. So you can see advantages. Customer oriented model, so customer is satisfied because they can see a rapid delivery of their own products, so which is very good. There is a lot of interaction between customer, developer, testers, because the model is created in a way wherein there will be daily interactions amongst the team and then interaction with the client as well. So it is very fastest model. So working software is delivered every bi-weekly mostly. Changes are welcome here, regular adaptation to the changes, because this is a model where you can backtrack and you can do changes, which is very much favorable here. Late changes are also welcome in this model. Here we need to follow a disciplined approach, which I already explained why. Now there is certainly disadvantages with this model as well, which I mentioned. One of them is about documents, which I said. Let's see more disadvantages. First is if the customer is not satisfied with what is being delivered, the project might go away. Here the second issue which we can see here is the decisions, the major decisions, the what backlogs to be added, who is going to do what, and what technologies will be using, are being majorly decided by the senior management. Why? Because this model is very disciplined. We cannot afford to invest more time in discussions and in letting everybody put in their ideas. So senior management is responsible for deciding, and there is less voice for all the team members equally. This is a very hidden disadvantage of Agile, which you can understand. Being in an Agile team. Okay, next we have, as I said, the documentation is not oriented, very much oriented towards creation of documents. This is created, or documents are created, but in a very precise manner and in a very less time. Okay, so if the project is huge, or it's difficult to analyze the number of sprints we are going to take to complete the project. So that's again another disadvantage of Agile. When do we use Agile? So we should use Agile when we know that changes are the need, when we know that innovations are important, when there is limited time, as this model is very fast, so we can use it for products where we need fast delivery. Why are we doing Agile? Because it builds and sustains a high rate of innovation. It becomes more customer driven. It is very efficient, doing more work in less time, and it is certainly fun to be in Agile. So you can see here there are more individuals and interactions in Agile over just processes and tools. There is a working software ready over just comprehensive documentation. We have more customer collaboration than just contracts and negotiations. We are responding to changes than just following a plan. So as we say, Agile is the need of the hour, and it's the most popular model. It is following the sprint model, wherein the requirements are broken down into different sprints, and they are progressed as sprint 1, sprint 2 till sprint end, and there are different meetings, there are different tools which support Agile. As we know, Jira is very much Agile oriented tool, so we'll learn about it as well. So that's about Agile. We'll have another video on Agile, talking about an example to how we break down Agile, how we create backlogs, how we create stories, sprints. We'll talk about it in the next video. Thank you.